Real estate supply here in Denver has exploded recently, just in the last couple of months. Year over year increase is 25% of homes listed for sale. You can see it as you're driving around Denver. That would lead most people to believe that we are now in a buyer's market, but it might not be exactly what you think. So let's take a look at this. A lot of you probably watch the stock market, and you probably remember Liberation Day. That was the day that Trump announced the tariffs, right? And everybody freaked out and sold stocks. There was tons of supply of stocks for sale and no demand, and prices plummeted. Same thing happened back in COVID. Everybody dumped stocks, tons of supply of stocks, no demand to buy them during the kind of phase where people are freaking out, right? Demand goes away. Real estate's a little different, so there's not quite as rapid of a response in real estate. It takes a lot longer for these changes to take place, but essentially for the last couple of years, we've destroyed demand because mortgage rates have been so high. But at the same time, during that whole period over the last 3 years, supply stayed pretty steady. In fact, probably supply decreased a lot because sellers with low mortgage rates from back in 2020 didn't want to sell those houses. And so there's been low supply for the last 3 years. And so prices actually stayed pretty steady up until this year, when all of a sudden now you've got this supply increase. And so prices will come down. I think they've already come down probably 10% over some of the highs, and maybe even more than that. So you can start to see that this buyer's market is kind of taking shape. But there's another element of the story here that I don't think a lot of people talk about. I'll touch on it real quick. The baby boom population of people is a massive pool of people trying to sell. Now, this baby boomer population, they say owns 38% of the residential real estate in this whole country. That is a huge, huge percentage of the real estate. Now, as they pass on, they give that real estate to their heirs, and their heirs are 70% likely to sell those houses. So this is the other dynamic that I was talking about. Over the next 10 or 20 years, you've got a flood of supply that's going to hit this market. So that is something very notable too, and something you should consider if you're buying or selling. If you're thinking of selling in the next 12 months, I think you really got to contemplate getting your house on the market quickly and trying to get it sold before some more of these price reductions take place. If you've got a longer time horizon, then I think you're fine and you can pick your battles. If you're a buyer, I always say, you're never going to find a bottom in any market. You're never going to find the bottom of a real estate market or a stock market unless you're really, really lucky, and then just chalk it up to luck. But real estate's always your wealth building platform, your most foundational piece of your wealth building platform, I believe. So I don't ever think there's a bad time to buy real estate. The great thing is there's a great time to buy when prices are on the downward slope. And I think we're certainly hitting that phase right now. So if you've got any questions about any of this, you want to analyze this more, you want to look at what you qualify for, you want to run some specific numbers, email is the best place to contact me. My website is in the link. There's a contact form on there too. Reach out anytime you like. I'll publish more of these videos. Like and subscribe this one. I'll keep broadcasting this stuff, details about mortgage and real estate stuff. That's my specialty. My name is Ted. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.